Hello everyone. Today we'll be taking a look at Limbus Company. More specifically, we're going to be looking at the new egos and identities that just released with part 2 of chapter 5. For a little bit of context, I have been playing this game since launch, so I'd like to imagine that I do have at least some modicum of experience, so I think my words should hold at least a little bit of weight when it comes to this. Without further ado, let's take a look at the new IDs of the middle. I've yet to actually look at these guys, specifically with their numbers and stats and things. So I generally already know what they're gonna do, but let's see exactly what they're gonna do. So, Meursault, the middle little brother. Skill 1, we remember, 2 coin, plus 4, 3 base, 11 coin skill. It's decent. Clash lose, envy damage up. I don't really care for Clash lose, to be honest. It's generally speaking, when it comes to Clash loses, the defense skill usually has something that's similar to the envy damage up. You know, the bonus that you get for Clash lose is usually in the defense skill. It's not here, but you know what I mean. Usually it's better to just use the defense skill instead of losing a clash regardless. Because would you rather have the 1 envy damage up or get this counter off? You'd probably rather have the counter. It's going to be doing more for you anyways than just 10% extra damage next turn. 2 bleed. Whatever. Skill 2, Chains of Loyalty. Envy, 2 coin. It's 14. 14's okay. Combat start. Apply 1 envy power up to 2 allies adjacent to this unit on the dashboard. Apply 1 envy damage up as well when selecting envy affinity skills from the affected skill slots. So basically, the 2 allies that are next to Meursault will get envy power up, and if they actually use an envy skill, they'll do more damage with it. It's situational, but could be good, depending on actual turn order and all that, but it's not bad. Skill 3, recording. 3 coin, that's 13. 13's pretty bad for a skill 3. It does have 2 coin power, but those are envy res. These coin powers aren't really going to be helping you very much. I mean, you basically need a full team with only envy, which isn't the hardest thing to do, but using only envy just to get this coin power, and this skill itself isn't envy, so it's if this skill wasn't envy, it wouldn't be as bad, but actually getting this off successfully is going to be pretty rare, because if you think about it, in an abnormality fight, every single sinner other than Meursault needs to have envy to get this plus 2 coin power, because Meursault can't use the envy himself, which is why it's 6 and 4. If it was less, maybe 3 and 5, I think it would be manageable at least. But most envy skills that you'd actually want to use are probably skill 2s or 3s. The skill 2s aren't really that bad, but the skill 3s can, they're kind of rare. So getting a whole bunch of them to get this plus 2 is not very good. Plus 1 is more reasonable, but yeah. Target has Vengeance Mark, inflict plus 1 coin drop next turn, and 2 envy fragility. It's not bad. The envy fragility doesn't really synergize very well, I don't think, because you're going to be using all of your envy skills the first turn to get the coin power, and the next turn you won't have any envy skills, so you're not really getting any benefit out of that. So it's either do you want the envy fragility or do you want the coin power? Because you're not getting both. If this was actually this turn, it would be a lot better, because if he was fast, he's average, so, it's not that bad. It's not that bad, but if he was fast and moved faster than the team, and then he inflicted envy fragility, and then everybody's using an envy skill to get the coin power, it's that would be really good, but it's next turn. So you either get the coin power or the fragility, not both. Plus coin drop is really good though, so not bad. Counter, basically an average counter, nothing really spectacular to talk about there. As for the passive, loyalty, 3 envy, pretty easy to afford, I think. Apply Vengeance Mark to the unit that dealt the most skill damage to an ally. If the main target has Vengeance Mark, final power plus 1. If there's another surviving ally from the middle other than this unit and the surviving ally from the middle with the least SP both heal 6 SP at the every turn end. So free SP healing for him and Dawn, because they're the only ones right now. +1 power to Vengeance Mark. It's okay, not bad. Turns these into a 12, a 15, still not great here, and then a 14. So it's like, it doesn't really help that much, but it's nice to have, I guess. As for Vengeance Mark, itself as a status effect doesn't do anything. It's just a way to basically track who gets the bonuses. And the support passive, one family. The ally with the least SP heals 10 SP at turn end if there's another ally from the same faction. So it's a way to gain SP. It's not really... Well, it is technically better than the other passives to gain SP. Two off the top of my head are base Honglu and base Yisong. Yisong heals 10 when you lose SP, so it's unreliable, but it's nice for countering the sanity cost of egos. And Honglu is, I think it's an 8? It's 8 or 6 sanity gain, so it's definitely probably the best sanity, aside from, you know, N-Corp Faust passive, but hers is a resonance, whereas this is just owned. This is just free, you don't need to work for it, unlike Faust's. So it's decent, it's a decent passive, not bad. You could probably slap it in on any team comp and it would work for you, no problem. It's pretty tanky. Slash, fatal, pierce normal, blunt resist. Yeah, pretty good stats all around. Not bad. He's definitely a good ID to worth pulling for, I think. Well, maybe not. Skill 3 is really not that good. Yeah, no, never mind. I take that back. Like, he's nice to have. The support passive is okay, but Skill 3's numbers just don't really do it for me. Plus the counterintuitive nature of Envy Resin boosting coin power plus for Envy Fragility next turn. It just, they counteract each other. I'd say Skill 2 is probably the best. Like the Envy power up plus Envy damage up, it could be very good. Like if you get Rabbit Heathcliff next to him and he's at 6+ speed and he gets this stuff, oh my god, he's gonna any of the fucking charge damagers are gonna just go crazy with this. They're gonna do insane damage with this right here. This thing right here is probably the only reason to pull him. Anyways, the middle little sister Don Quixote, the one that everybody's been talking about, the one that everyone's going crazy for. And what's the reason? Well, I think you know. So, her stats, pretty much the same as Meursault, except being a 3-star, they're a little bit higher. Extra defense level, bit more health, same resistances. Not bad, not bad. Average speed. Skill 1, checking the book. It's a Wrath skill, 2 coin, 10 power. That's not very good. Heal 5 SP on self is okay, but with a 10 power skill, I don't think it's really worth ever using. You'd probably want to replace this with the defense most of the time, just because it's not good and doesn't really do anything. Skill 2, Proof of Loyalty. That's a lot of text. Envy, of course. +6 coin, 2 coins. It's a 16 power skill, which is really good. Well, not really good, but good. At combat start, this skill gains 1 offense level by highest absolute resonance divided by 2, max of 6. So it can go up to a total of 49 offense level, which would be an extra 2 power. You're pretty much never going to get that though, because you'd need to have a 12 absolute resonance, which is like good luck. But you probably get a minimum of +3, so it'll go up to 46, which is still a +1, you know, offense boost. So on average, it's probably going to be rolling around 17 instead of 16. Just simply because of this. If the highest absolute resonance is Envy absolute resonance, boost the offense level gained by the above effect by 50% rounded down. Gain double the offense level from the above effects in focus encounters with 7 or fewer participant limits. So that says limits, right? So I'm not sure if that means if you bring 7 or fewer, or if the limit itself needs to be 7 or fewer. So if you can bring like 8, for example, even if you only bring 7, would that make it so you don't gain the double? I'm not sure. Either way, it would go absolutely crazy. Like, just simply doubling it, that's already a +2, which, just with a 3 absolute resonance, which is probably the most likely that you'd be getting. So it's already doing 18 just simply because of that. This skill will hit hard. That's all I'm saying. It's gonna have a stupid high roll. Hi, editing queue here. So past me was an idiot and completely forgot about the max of 6. So it can only ever go up to a maximum of 49 combat level, which it's still a +2, but it's not as crazy as I initially thought it was. On hit's not that interesting. 3 bleed, 1 damage down, whatever, who cares. Skill 3, Adjust Vengeance. 4 coin, +3 to 16 coin. Pretty okay for a skill 3. Not great, not bad either. The skill gains 1 offense level by highest absolute resonance divided by 2. Max of 6, same thing as skill 2. Exact same thing as skill 2 actually. Heads hit, inflict bleed, bleed, bleed. After attack, target is defeated, 1 ally with the lead. These are all whatever, who gives a who cares about these? They don't matter. They're just a nice little bonus that you get. Like, she can be slapped on a bleed team and you get extra potency, yay. Who cares? They're not what you're actually going for here. You're going for the envy stuff, not bleed. And the counter. Multifold Retribution, 5+4. Average counter, when just looking at this. Combat start, if at 6+ envy absolute resonance, including this skill, use Adjust Vengeance as counter. Upon activating the above effect, the skill's affinity is changed to envy. Leftmost multifold Retribution is activated first, activates 2 times per turn. Well, that's interesting. So you can change this skill into skill 3 up to twice. Basically, I think that she wants to have a minimum of 2 skill slots so that she can just constantly spam her counter skill over and over and over and over again. And every single time they will change into the skill 3, and you basically just have a unit that constantly spams skill 3 over and over and over again. The only thing is it's a 6+ envy resonance. Absolute resonance. Which means everybody needs to be using an envy skill. Which could, like I said before with Meursault, it could prove to be a little bit difficult to achieve that. As, you know, most envy skills are, like I said, on skill 3s or skill 2s, which means you can only do it at most like once. So it's gonna be hard to pull off most of the time, especially with random RNG with speeds. Like, you could accidentally get a random gloom skill in the middle there, and then everything's fucked up at that point. Not the easiest thing to achieve, but you can definitely pull it off. And it's a really good benefit too. Like, just a free, you can get up to 2 skill 3s every turn if you do it right, which could be really, really good. Passives. Vengeance Tattoo, 4 envy owned, easy to achieve. Gain 1 envy damage up next turn every time the enemies strike an ally, including this unit, 3 times. Max of 5. Yeah, she just really, really, really wants to have lots of skill slots, so she can spam her defense skill, gain a ton of envy damage up, and then use her skill 3 and just obliterate everything in her sight. Absolutely crazy. And then Vengeance Mark to the unit that dealt the most skill damage, and coin power +1 if target has Vengeance Mark. Honestly, Vengeance Mark is whatever. It's kind of an afterthought. The real thing is this. This is gonna be insane. Most enemies have like 2 to 3 coin skills, so as long as she's getting hit over and over again, she's gonna be constantly racking up this envy damage up, and then she's gonna be just hitting absolutely hard every single turn. She could absolutely she could be very broken. Very, very broken. Support passive favoritism. 1 ally with the lowest max HP gains 1 blunt damage up next turn every time the enemy strike an ally, not including this unit 6 times. Yeah, basically same thing, just harder to achieve. It's good to have on like tanky units. Maybe. It's not the best support passive. I think Dawn's other passives are probably generally better, but like most of them are resonance, so they could be harder to achieve than this one, and this one's just, you get it. So I guess it's really up to you which support passive you like better of hers. But generally speaking, she is very tanky and hits absolutely hard as long as you have this 6+ envy absolute resonance, which the less people you take into a fight, the better she's going to generally do, which also plays into this thing where you gain the double offense level, because if she has a bunch of skill slots and then like somebody else with envy skills has a bunch of skill slots, you're going to be able to do this a whole bunch. Like her plus Rhino Meursault, for example, with his envy being a skill 1 and having an envy defense skill as well, you're going to be able to activate this pretty consistently. So in the right team comp, this could be very terrifying. So she's definitely very good. 100% worth pulling. Now, the next two things on the list. The egos. Hong Lu's Effervescent Corrosion. It's a he, so it's competing with Dimension Shredder. Dimension Shredder's okay on Hong Lu. It's not the greatest thing. The passive's good, giving him basically get out of jail free card whenever he dies. But let's look at this. 15 coin for a 32. What is Dimension Shredder? It's 28, so it's a lot higher. It's a +4 power to Dimension Shredder. So it has higher clash potential. It's got an attack weight of 2. Don't think Dimension Shredder is an AoE. 4 attack at 50% minus HP, gains extra attack weight. At 25% minus HP, gain an additional attack weight +1. So, the less health he has, the more AoE it does. On hit, inflict Rupture by Gluttony Resonance divided by 2, Gluttony Fragility next turn, and 2 Bind. That's pretty good. I'm very much seeing that this thing wants to be used on K-Corp Hong Lu. Like, his immortality makes it so that him being low health doesn't really matter, so you just get this bonus for free. And then he's got Gluttony skills and Rupture. So, I can see it. I can see it being used over Dimension Shredder. Dimension Shredder just basically revives him once, and that's kind of like the only real thing you want to use it for. The Fragile's nice, and Dimensional Rift does do Rupture count, and it is AoE. Okay. I wasn't sure. Generally speaking, depending on what the passive is on this, Dimension Shredder is probably better, because it's only +1 attack weight, which isn't really that impactful, and Rupture count is better than Rupture potency. The other two effects are pretty good though. They're pretty good. Regular fragility is definitely better than Gluttony Fragility, but the bind's nice. The bind is nice. Corrosion. 27 minus 12. Target unit with least HP. Same things. Goes up to a +5, which is actually significant, more so than the +3 of Dimension Shredder. It's a self-heal. Not that good for K-Corp Hong Lu. Doesn't really matter on him. But I could see it maybe being used on some of his other IDs. But I don't know if his other IDs would even really want to use this over Dimension Shredder. Guess it all really depends on the passive. Green Slime. If struck at less than 50% HP, inflict 1 Rupture on the attacker. Activates highest Gluttony absolute resonance times per turn. Again, it's okay. You can definitely use it. Like, at the end of the day, it is free Rupture that isn't going to just be taken away instantly. But generally speaking, I think you'd still prefer to run Dimension Shredder over it. The fragility and Rupture count is like, it's way better. The passive's not really that useful for it, but so the passive's definitely better on Effervescent Corrosion, I think, but generally Dimension Shredder is better. 1 fragile +4 count. So I'm not really expecting to see much use out of that ego. Now onto the next one. 9-2 for Faust. It's a Teth competing against Hexanail. 18 plus 8, so it's a 26. I think that's the same as Hexanail, right? Yeah, it's the same. The actual numbers are a little bit different, but it's the same end result of a 26. Before attack at 4+ highest Lust absolute resonance, attack weight +1 at 6+ attack weight +1. So it's very similar to the middle gang with their envy absolute resonance, but instead of envy it's lust, which is quite compatible with her N-Corp ID, because not only would you get the attack weight, you would also get the SP healing. Inflict 3 burn, convert 2 burn on target to 1 defense level down. So it could be good to run this in a burn team. We just need an actual Faust burn ID first. Then it would actually be like really good, I think. Corrosion 28 minus 12. Okay. Same thing. Extra attack weight on Lust Resonant. Tails hit, inflict bind, and then burn and the same thing. So the only thing really different about this one is it inflicts bind. So it's okay. It just kind of wants a burn ID for Faust, which we don't have yet. But I assume we will be getting Liu Faust ID pretty soon. Maybe it'll be next, who knows. Passive, Flame Brand. On heads hit with a Lust Affinity skill, inflict 1 burn on target. 6 times per turn. Yeah, definitely. It 100% wants a burn ID for Faust. Once we get a burn ID for Faust, this thing's going to be pretty good. You're going to 100% want to run it over Hexanail. But until that happens, I don't know. I don't know if you'd want to run it over Hexanail. Maybe. I guess it's up to you at the end of the day. Hexanail is really good. Like Pierce Fragility, Envy Fragility, Curse, Nails, on hit target Curse, plus the passive is really, really good on Regret Faust. You could definitely run it on N-Corp Faust though, that's for sure. And it would do pretty well. Once we get Liu Faust though, you're gonna 100% want to run 9-2 on her, and it'll give you a lot of good value. Anyways, yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna pull for these guys. See how long it takes me to get them. Let's see if I'm lucky. There we go. Got him. That definitely didn't take me over 100 pulls. I hope it was worth it. Yeah, it definitely was. What am I talking about? Alright, so I basically decided, let's make a team using the new IDs and egos. So I got the little sister, the little brother, Meursault, and Dawn, obviously. And then, basically my whole idea behind it is just go as hard into the envy as possible. So I just tried to choose as many people that had envy skills as possible. Preferably skill 1 envy, so it's easier to do. Technically speaking, skill 2 is more reliable because you want to actually use your skill 2s as opposed to skill 1s. So, like Daichi Rodion is probably better than Ting Tang Honglu because you're more likely to use her envy skill as opposed to his. But I still chose to go with him, along with N-Corp Faust and R-Corp Heathcliff. The main decision between whether or not I was basically, for the last slot, I was basically really tossed up about whether or not I wanted to go with Heathcliff or Liu Ishmael, because I was also trying to do a Lust Resonance as well to get Faust's 9-2 ego. But then I realized I don't actually have enough lust because of the little sister and little brother. They don't have lust skills, so it's actually not feasible to do it, to get the lust resonance. Because I also was trying to do it with one less sinner than normal, to give Dawn an extra skill slot. So because Dawn gets the extra skill slot, that means I don't have the required amount of lust to be able to activate absolute resonance. And so I chose Heathcliff over Ishmael because he has the better envy skill. Really, that's all it boiled down to. So we're finding the bowl because, you know, this today's luxcavation thing. Bull's a bit of a pushover, to be honest, when he's not in Mirror Dungeon, and even in Mirror Dungeon he's kind of a pushover still. You just kind of tank his attacks and you're good to go. That's it. That's the whole strategy. When you're not in Mirror Dungeon, you can actually clash with his skills, and because you can actually clash with his skills, he becomes infinitely easier. So these first few turns I was trying my damnedest to get Envy Absolute Resonance going, but just it's not enough. It's really hard to get 6. I was basically the entire time, what I was trying to do was to activate Dawn's counter passive, but you need 6 Envy to be able to do that, and it's actually much more difficult to achieve that than I initially thought. Like 6 is a lot. It's literally every skill, every single skill from every sinner needs to be Envy in this fight to be able to activate that passive. So I was basically just trying to save all my Envy skills up until I could actually get it to work. And eventually, it did line up. I got it with one Envy counter, but I did too much damage to the bull and staggered him before the counter could go off, which, if I had done different targeting, I could have still got the counter off if I targeted the body with it instead of the person, but it's fine. Even just Dawn's skill 2 is really powerful. So all in all, I think they're good. They're definitely good. The extra offense level that you gain from the Envy Resonance is very powerful, and it definitely helped me win a couple clashes, which I wasn't going to otherwise. So even without the counter of Dawn, she's still very good if you just get like 3 Envy Resonance because of that offense level boost you get. If you want to add me, here's my friend code. I'll be putting the new IDs on my company, so you can use them if you want without pulling them. Yeah, that's basically it for this video. See ya.